This video is about the National Resident Matching Program for doctors in the United States. We examine why this system exists and ask whether it's potentially being used to artificially keep newly qualified doctors' salaries low. The Medical Match, or the National Resident Matching Program, is a non-profit, non-governmental organization that was created in the 50s. It runs a system for placing US medical students into residency training programs in teaching hospitals around the country. It was created to tackle perceived problems such as the very high demand for popular residents, who then received exploding offers that could expire as fast as 12 hours. At the heart of the medical matching program is an algorithm we will describe, which was analysed by the two mathematicians David Gale and Lloyd Shapley. But first, a quick note about matching markets. Matching programs come about when we have two sides of the market that need to be paired, and both parties have preferences over who they are paired with. An important feature of them is that money is not the lever used to do the matching. How does the whole process work? After doctors choose their specialty and do a residency for 3 years, they take final boards. The applicant must then take part in the National Residence Matching Program, joining the pool of other candidates applying in the same year. Both sides of the market, the hospital and the candidates, list their preferences for each other. Hospitals receive applications and decide who they want to interview. Applicants then fly out to these interviews, which they must pay for themselves. This can get extremely costly if they're searching widely. Once interviews are completed, each party submits a list of people or places that they want, in decreasing order of preference. The matching algorithm, which is almost identical to the Gale-Shapley one mentioned previously, then takes these lists and allocates candidates to hospitals. A nice feature is that it will always terminate, which means it will find a set of stable matches. What's a stable match? Stable matches are those where no one wants to change their mind. For example, if we take two matches, one with agents H1 and C5 to represent Hospital 1 and Candidate 5, and another with agents H2 and C9, in a stable match, it's not possible for H1 and C9 to want to be together and for H2 and C5 to want to be together rather than with their existing partners. So what are the issues with this? The first thing to note is that this situation doesn't seem to really warrant a matching program without money. Most labour markets clear the old-fashioned way. If you want someone to work for you, you pay them more than your competitors. So why not do the same here? The cynical perspective is that by using an algorithm with little oversight from external monitors, hospitals can avoid bidding wars over new doctors. If this was indeed what they were doing, surely it would be considered an anti-competitive practice that could lead to investigations by the Department of Justice. But this isn't the case, as the Association of American Medical Colleges and the American Hospital Association successfully lobbied to ensure that forcing doctors to take part in the match was not an antitrust violation, and that the match could not be used as evidence in an antitrust case. Can hospitals bypass the match to get the candidate that they want? Let's say the hospital offers a higher wage to a candidate. That should entice them to join. However, the candidate cannot bypass the match. They have to submit their preferences via this match. Therefore, the only action they can take is to list the hospital at the top of their rank order list, and the hospital does the same. There is no guarantee that they will match though. The algorithm works its way through all the lists at the same time, and the final match is therefore not under the control of the two parties. Doesn't putting your top hospital and candidate guarantee that you will match? Not necessarily. The algorithm states that it will terminate at a stable match and not at a point when everyone gets their first choice. Stability only implies that once matched, the two parties in the match do not want to switch to another partner. Our high-wage candidate might match with a different hospital and not its first choice. Therefore, the candidate might want to leave the match they find themselves in, but the hospital they've matched with will not want to let go of the candidate. So the match is stable, but not the outcome the candidate wanted. We can see that the match creates a disconnect between the two parties that they cannot control, since other preferences in the match determine the overall outcome. This prevents bidding wars from breaking out, because no one can be sure that a higher wage can increase the probability of matching with their preferred candidate. Another more academic problem with the analysis of the National Residence Matching Program is that the Gale-Shapley algorithm requires a complete ranking over all hospitals and applicants. First of all, no one can interview at all hospitals since the process can get prohibitively expensive, as residents must pay for their own travel. Therefore, the system never receives the full preferences over every candidate. In fact, the only people who will be competed over and have chances of receiving their best match are candidates who manage to fly out to many interviews. Anecdotally, these are generally doctors who know they'll be earning a lot of money in the future, for example, plastic surgeons. So we've seen that matching algorithms are used when money to equate supply and demand isn't an option. This doesn't seem necessary for the National Residence Matching Programme, and moreover, may be hiding wage fixing.